It's a tie that binds pub tenants to pub companies. But is the concept of the Tide pub saving or damaging the industry?
Around half of the UK's 50,000 pubs are run using a so-called Tide model. Here's how it works in theory. The landlord gets the support of a pub company, a degree of security, and pays a lower rent than if they were independent. But they also have to buy their beer from the pub company rather than the open market.
Which typically means paying a higher price. Often the model works well, but for Simon Clark it doesn't.
We're in a tied relationship, which means we have to buy our beer from the people that we rent the pub from. That in itself wouldn't sound so bad, but the price of the beer, and compared with along with the price of the rent itself, is just pricing us out in the market. We're getting no profit out of the pub, despite the level of our turnover.
Simon runs the Eagle Ale House in southwest London. It's owned by the UK's largest pub company, Enterprise Inns.
You knew what you were entering into, didn't you?
We did know what we were entering into in that sense. You know, the idea of ordering from them is not an issue, it's the price.
According to Simon, a 9-gallon barrel of Timothy Taylor's Golden Best, for example, costs him just over £106. A similar-sized, non-Tide pub nearby told the BBC they pay around £79. Simon insists the rent he pays to his pub company isn't low enough to offset his higher beer prices.
Every year that goes by, our earning diminishes.
Enterprise Inns declined to be interviewed, but said in a statement, Simon Clark's circumstances and claims are not representative of the vast majority of publicans with whom we work. The prices paid for the supply of Tide products are taken into account when assessing, negotiating and agreeing the rent payable for the premises. Disputes like this are relatively rare, but the government has intervened.
According to the British Beer and Pub Association, fewer than 0.1% of the Tide pubs in the UK actually complained about their relationship. So, I mean, do you really need to get involved?
The feeling which is very, very strong amongst publicans who have a Tide relationship is that they're dealing with very powerful organisations. It's a bit like David and Goliath. And that when they get into a dispute, they get hammered. I mean, this is the concern. It's been expressed over many years through Parliament and elsewhere, and the government has been asked to do something about it.
The Ale House in Taunton is a Tide pub, but pub manager and pub company see mutual benefit.
If there's a problem with a leaky roof or something goes wrong or the equipment breaks down, I'm on the phone within 24 hours. Normally they'll come and sort it out where it's possible. So that background of safety I think is important, and I don't mind paying a little bit more for that background.
We want them to sell more beer. We are therefore incentivised to support our licensees and invest behind them to grow their sales, because clearly if they grow their sales, we grow our profitability as well.
It's a heated pub debate. Attention is now on the government to see how they decide to intervene. Tim Muffet, BBC News.